Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking about clearing out decimals. How do we solve equations that involve decimals, and how can we basically make them go away so we don't have to deal with them, okay? So let's look at the first example here. How do we clear out decimals? So we have 0.5x plus 0.7 equals 1.2. What do? Well, basically what you're going to do is you're going to look at your problem, and if you notice that there's decimals, you're going to multiply by the smallest decimal place that you see, okay? So looking at this, I see the tenths place, but that's the smallest one I see in each of these numbers. So I'm going to multiply every term by 10. So multiply by 10, multiply by 10, multiply by 10. And what that effectively will do is it will move your decimal place over to the right one place. And so I end up with 5x plus 7 equals 12. And now we'll end up with either a two-step or whatever kind of equation that we can then solve that we no longer have decimals we have to deal with. So I can go ahead, I can subtract both sides by 7. In this one, I'll get that 5x equals 5. And then I can go ahead and divide by 5 and get that x equals 1. Here's another example. This time I look through and I see that my smallest decimal is 100. In fact, each of these is to the hundredths place, right? 12 is to the hundredths place, hundredths place, hundredths place. So I'll be multiplying each one by 100. Effectively, what that's going to be doing is it's going to be moving all of my decimal places twice. So I move these over. I'm going to get 12x minus 35 equals 13. And then again, I'll be left with an equation that I can go ahead and solve. Whether it's a two-step, multi-step, whatever, I can then go ahead and solve this like normal. In this case, I'll go ahead and add 35 to both sides. And I'm going to get 12x equals 48. Divide by 12, and I'll get that x equals 4. Again, once I clear out that decimal, pretty much the rest of the problem's just like a normal old equation to go ahead and solve. Here's another one, and now I'm going to see that not all my decimals may end up at the same spot. So this one is to the tenths place, this is to the hundredths, and this is to the hundredths. I multiply by the smallest decimal place, okay? In that case, it would be the hundredths for this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply all of them by 100. Again, effectively, that's going to move my decimal place to the right twice. For any one that does not have a hundredths place, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a 0 into any extra spots. So this is going to be 20x plus 14 equals 94. And again, I'll go ahead and solve like normal. We'll subtract 14, I get 20x equals 80. Divide by 20, and I get that x equals 4. Okay. Again, I multiply by 100. That was the smallest decimal place, so the hundredths. And so I multiply everything by that, and then I have a regular old equation to go ahead and solve. This one, once again, we have a lot of different decimal places. We see here, this one doesn't have any decimals. This one's to the tenths place, and this one's to the thousandths place. Again, I'm going to pick the smallest one. That would be the thousandth, so I'll be multiplying by 1,000. And again, what that's going to do is it's going to move everything over to the right, in this case, 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. And once again, I kind of add in zeros for any place that's not there. This is where the decimal is. It's the 3 spots from there. So I'm going to have 5,000 x plus 700 equals 125. And again, I'll go ahead and I'll solve this one just like a normal old two-step equation. I'll subtract 700 from both sides. I'm going to get negative 5,000x equals negative 575. And then I'll go ahead and divide by 5,000. and we'll get that x equals negative 23 over 200. And there's my final answer, okay? So, basically, if you have decimals to begin with in your problem, to clear them out, you're going to multiply by the smallest decimal place you see, whether that's the tens, the hundredths, the thousandths, so on and so forth. Basically, effectively, you're going to be moving all your decimal places in your equation over that many times, and then you can go ahead and solve your equation from there, okay? Thank you all for watching.